Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Nigerian News Direct. APC PDP battle over Tinubu's visit to Jonathan as parties contend over performance profile. Opposition rattled in panic, APC speaking. We will focus on issues trading personal insults. Campaign council also reacting there. To the Nation newspaper now, PDP crisis. I will crush my detractors, says Wike. It's too late to break my ranks. Atiku already sharing positions before polls, says Rivers governor. You find all of the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper. All right, now we'll move to the front page of The Guardian. Wike accuses Atiku Okowa Ayu of sharing position ahead 2023. Wike accuses Atiku Okowa Ayu of sharing position ahead 2023. All of the details on the front page of The Guardian newspaper. To the front page of the Leadership newspaper now, still talking about the PDP crisis. Ayu is going nowhere, Atiku's camp insists. National chairman's removal will cause constitutional crisis in the party. Melaye speaking. Rivers people will decide who to support. Wike reacting. South must produce President Muhammadu Buhari's successor, says Omagege Kiyamo. All right, you find the details on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. And we move to the Punch newspaper now. Muslim ticket. No agreement with Tinubu. Khan insists. Talks tough. Donation to Kuka Center. Not bribe to pacify Christians, says Khan. PDP jittery over Tinubu's visit to Jonathan, APC speaking. Ononuga promises issue-based campaigns. The details on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And to this Nigeria newspaper now, looking at the building collapse. A death toll in Lagos building collapse rises to 5 as commissioner resigns after multiple collapses. Death toll in Lagos building collapse rises to 5 as commissioner resigns after multiple collapses. All right, to the front page of the Daily Trust now. Will eliminate all terrorists by December. Federal government speaking says worst of insecurity is over. Counterinsurgency, not fair fight. Defense minister will eliminate all terrorists by December. Federal government speaking says worst of insecurity is over. Counterinsurgency, not fair fight. Defense minister speaking. Mike.
All right. From this side, I have the first news. Is the first one we're taking here. After 6 days in captivity, I am chained in open forest, dying fast. Kidnapped Kaduna DPO cries out in agony from bandits' den. The family begs federal government to help secure police officers' release. That's the story on the first news. Now let's go to Blueprint newspaper. Blueprint says present security challenge Nigeria's greatest threat since civil war. That federal government is quoted as saying this, and says the worst days are over. Terrorists on the run. That's the Blueprint newspaper. Business Day is next, and it says Nigeria's rising interest rates fail to lure foreign investors. Nigeria's rising interest rates fail to lure foreign investors. That's Business Day, and the last one we have now is on the African scene. And it is Daily Monitor from East Africa. And it says Ruto retires Raila, and that's in Kenya. Daily Monitor says Ruto retires Raila. That's the story on the front page of Daily Monitor, all the way from Kenya.
And we will begin from Kenya, Mike, this morning. Talking about William Ruto's election being upheld by the Supreme Court. A unanimous decision it was, and that was televised yesterday. And reactions has been trailing that from the papers that saying that William Ruto is retiring Raila Odinga. And I'm wondering what you make of that headline or that
It,
decision?
it may mean the end of an era, you know, that Odinga is the son of Odinga, the nationalist, fiery nationalist who was at once an adversary and also an ally of the famous Jomo Kenyatta. And, you know, you had that spell of both the Kenyatta and the Odinga family over Kenya for decades.
Yes.
And it looks like Ruto is now slaying the giants. Has now spilled the blood of his fathers. That's it. So that is what, and he has done that with the help of the people. It's a legitimate thing. There's what literary theorists call the anxiety of influence, where when you imitate somebody and it will appear as if the person you are imitating is imitating you. One critic called it a relentless wrestling with the greatest of the dead. So what he has done is to wrestle with the greatest of the dead, and he has put them to bed. So we want to see if Ruto can actually chart a new course for Kenya, because we know that you know, he won the election. There were disputes here that some people pulled out. You know, some electoral officers pulled out. They may be partisan for all we know. And the thing was a rigorous counting process, and the Supreme Court, which is the last line, has already decided. So the only thing that the Odingas can appeal to is to God, but then their fathers are already gone to God. So they couldn't help him.
They couldn't help him at all.
Yeah. Now, the Ruto is a fresh heir to the electoral process in Kenya. Now, from the days of Jomo Kenyatta to Daniel Arap Moi to Mwai Kibaki to Kenyatta now, the junior Kenyatta, you saw that Uhuru Kenyatta. There were either people who were, you know, who sat together, all fought, you know, for independence, who were, you know, in the old horses within the system, you know, the liberation struggle, or they belonged to the dynasties and all of that. William Ruto was neither of those. He's a fresh person coming, new kid on the block, and he understands the power of now, the language of now, and that is what he rode on. And it's really an interesting thing. Now, for Uhuru Kenyatta, an incumbent president supporting a candidate and the candidate doesn't win, it spells a very, to a great extent, it whittles down the relevance of that president, even if he's going out. You know, a former president remains a former president, but
absolutely.
But the clout that you would have had reduces. And then you see that he congratulated those who won, but he didn't mention William Ruto. You know, it tells you that whatever is their difference, he certainly has not rested, has not been settled. Absolutely. But on the other hand, William Ruto, understanding what the issues are, has said that he's going to work with Raila Odinga. He has extended his hand.
But he mentioned in his speech, sorry to cut you, Mike, he mentioned in his speech yesterday that they hadn't spoken for months.
Yes.
He and Raila Odinga hadn't spoken for months, but now
they haven't.
They'll have to, you know, speak.
But he in other conversation, he said he's going to speak with both of them.
Yes.
He's going to speak with both of them soon, and he also promised that Uhuru Kenyatta, that he's going to take care of him in his retirement.
Right.
You know, these words of encouragement, it heals the system, you know, as we get along. And in fact, he is a good student, because he saw at the time, you remember this video going viral. I remember the day where there was a national day of healing, where it was like a crusade that was organized for reconciliation, where the president at that time called Raila Odinga, and all of them, they hugged in the, you know, on national TV, and they reconciled, forgave each other, and all of that. So that's brought a beginning of a new Kenya when it comes to rivalry, you know. So it tells us that the days of 2007, where there was a whole lot of killing, where more than 1,000 people were killed because of election, those days are over. And
absolutely.
I think Kenyans know better now, and it's going to be a new dawn for Kenya.
Especially when you find out that during the campaigns, the people campaigned for Ruto also campaigned for, they also paid to campaign
For Odinga.
for Odinga. And we saw them, change their clothes, you go to campaign, you change the campaign, where you go to the rally of the first person, and then when you are done, you go to a place and change,
I think it's an African thing, because we see that happen here as well.
Of course.
Rent the crowd.
It feels like today, if there are three campaigns from three different political parties, then breakfast, lunch, and dinner is settled. You go here, you take breakfast, you go here, you take lunch, and then you go here, you take dinner.
Interesting. I hope that with regards to the peace talks, that Nigeria learns lessons, our politicians learn lessons.
Nigeria is far ahead.
Of course.
Nigeria is far ahead.
But we still see parties within parties that, there's still rivalry. Let's talk about the PDP issue, where there's still a crisis.
Yes.
Let's learn to, resolve matters and move on as quickly as possible. That's the lessons I am thinking we should learn and move our country forward. Now,